We love
I
hip
want to give you a quick
hop.
update on the El Plaga case. Okay, El Plaga, Scarborough rapper. He's been dealing with a murder case where they're saying that he's responsible for the unaliving of two women at a birthday party about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago now. Okay, there has been a recent post. They're right now going through the trial. And his trial, I think they're like a month and a half into this trial. Like this trial has been going on for a minute. Let me see if I can go and find the actually I might already have it loaded up. I do. Okay, so partygoer Christopher Lucas, who has pled not guilty to 2 counts of second-degree murder in connection with the death of Christine Crooks, 18, of Toronto, and 20-year-old Juliana Pananzio of Windsor. Okay, the man who was the guest of honor at the party held a short-term rental in Fort Erie, where the two young women were shot, and returned to the witness stand for a double murder trial. But at the time, as a witness for the defense, Trevor Barnett, a 33-year-old resident of Scarborough, had previously testified at the trial of Christopher Lucas, who was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. So he previously was testifying in helping El Plaga, and El Plaga is Christopher Lucas. Okay, Barnett said that both Christine Crooks, 18 of Toronto, and Pananzio were alive when he left the birthday party in Fort Erie on January 19th of 2021. He admitted that he deactivated the cell phone and took steps to return the vehicle that he had driven to the party, and instructed other attendees on what to say to police. He also got rid of his handgun that he possessed at the time. Last month, 7 weeks into the trial, the Center of Forensic Sciences concluded cartridges, casings from the handgun seized during the traffic stop in East Gwillimbury in August of 2022 matched the casings recovered from the Fort Erie murder scene. Hold on, I need a little sound. Okay. The 40 caliber Glock had sat in the York Regional Police evidence lockup for more than 3 years before being examined. The man arrested in connection with the traffic stop is associated with both Barnett and Lucas. All right, so somebody had gotten arrested, somebody else had gotten arrested, and the gun, they said, has the same casings of what was found in Fort Erie, and it wasn't any of these two guys. That's crazy. In the Superior Court of Justice in Welland on Wednesday, the first day of the defense's case, lawyer John Blasibla told the jury and defense typically gives away a preview of evidence that intends to call. Regretfully, we can't. This is not a usual case. The Glock firearm came from an evidentiary horizon in December of this year, 2025. The Crown theory is Lucas pulled the trigger at a large gathering to celebrate Barnett's 29th birthday. Our position on Trevor Barnett is the shooter. The lawyer told the 6-man and 6-woman jury. Barnett was originally charged with 2 counts of murder in relation to the homicides. Those charges were dropped following the preliminary hearing after the judge ruled that there was not enough evidence to prove that he was party to the murders. In October of 2024, he was sentenced to time served following the probation of 2 years after he pleaded guilty to charges of obstructing of justice. On Wednesday, Barnett testified that many people he associates with carry firearms. Coming from where I come from, it's normal to protect yourself, he said. You could be here today and gone tomorrow. Everybody and their moms have a gun. All right. So this is homie on the stand right now testifying like they ain't me. He said it was relatively easy to obtain a firearm in Toronto, and the weapons are often rotated throughout the community. Handguns are regularly traded for other firearms and lent out to other individuals. He said that he did have a handgun at the time of the shooting, but he did not bring it into the house party because Fort Erie was so far away. He could not recall the type of gun it was. After the shooting, he got rid of the gun because he knew police would be interested in everyone who was at the waterfront home at that night. He said that he passed his gun to someone in the neighborhood, but refused to name the recipient. He told the court that he had 20 to 25 firearms over the years. Damn. And that he was and his associates preferred Glock handguns. People want to roll with what the police have. Go for the best. We went through everything before we got the Glock money. Bro, this is crazy. Well, let's continue. Asked if the handgun was used in a double homicide, Barnett said, "I don't know what handgun was used in the murder of those women." Barnett had previous weapons-related convictions and was subject to 2 lifetime firearms bans. So damn, this guy still had a gun with 2 lifetime firearms bans. Courts heard Crooks and had been invited to the party by Lucas, who is El Plaga, then 22 years Toronto rapper known by the stage name of El Plaga, like I just said. Pananzio's only connection to the gathering was through Crooks. And I think that's about it. So that's where we are so far. Okay, they're trying to put it back on this guy Barnett, who the party was held for, the birthday boy. They're saying that he was, or the defense is saying that he is responsible for those 2 young women being murdered. I don't know, man. This is a wild case as far as like pointing fingers at each other. What do y'all think, gang, before we get off of this segment? 1 in the chat if you think El Plaga is going to beat this case. 2 in the chat if he's cooked, yo. Because even like the pictures that they've used of El Plaga in past, anytime that he's spoken about this article. Let me see if I can find something. El Plaga. Anytime they've spoken about El Plaga in the past, they use this picture. Like, god damn. So people are already looking at it like, yo, this guy looks like some kind of crazy mass murdering gangster rapper, right? Let me see what y'all saying in the chat over here. A lot of people are putting 1s. I gotta agree with the people who are putting 1s in here. Because a lot of these cases, it looks like the person is cooked from when they start presenting, when the Crown starts presenting their evidence. You feel me? But once we start getting to the defense, and if he does have a good lawyer from what I've been seeing from me keeping track of this case, it seems like he has a good lawyer. He might beat the case. Now, if he does beat the case, I don't know if they're going to say that it's the Barnett guy who's actually guilty of the murders, but he can beat the case and they can still be looking for who the shooter really was, right? But because he invited Shorty to the party, I don't know, they might have to find motive. And if they can find a real motive for him inviting this girl to the party, the girl inviting one of her girlfriends, and then this guy just shot both of them, you got to give me a better reason. You got to give me a better reason than, I don't know, he's just a Scarborough gangster rapper. You know what I'm saying? And they haven't just given that reason, but they haven't given us a motive to why he would just murder them 2 girls at the party, especially at a party. So, again, we're about 7 weeks into the trial. I'll keep you guys posted. Obviously, once they come to the conclusion of this trial, we'll be circling back again to get the results of this. But yeah, hold your head to all parties involved. I'm not going to say free up to anybody because you just never know these days and times. Like if mans are guilty, then it's not a free up thing. I'm not on that anymore. I'm sorry, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out these other videos on the screen and make sure to like and subscribe.
We love hip hop.